Cry for justice that's growing louder by the day for Jairaj and Binix, the father-son duo who died after being brutally tortured, allegedly by the police in Tuticorin in Tamil Nadu. A woman police constable who witnessed the brutal torture on the father-son duo on the night of June 19 has exposed her own department, claiming to India Today that Jairaj and Binix were beaten up throughout the night. Here is our report, part of our continuing focus, as we promised, on one of the most horrific custodial deaths this country has seen. Okay, let's go across the road first to Kamal Haasan. Actor is joining us at the moment. Kamal Haasan, the incident that we are talking about in Tuticorin has triggered widespread outrage across the country. Many are calling it the two George Floyds of India. The way in which this incident has shaken Tamil Nadu society, you are now planning to go to court. Tell us about this. This is not the first time a custodial death has happened. Why this time have people like you decided to take it up so aggressively? You are planning now to knock the doors of the court on it.
I think this has been happening over time, be it the Tuticorin shooting, and it's happening in the same terrain now. I think they are emboldened and they are going step by step towards brutality and brutalization of people who are seeking justice.
When you say brutalization of people who are seeking justice, do you feel this is the failure of the individual police officers? Is this a larger systemic failure, that something in the system has broken down that allows policemen to believe that they can get away with what happened in Tuticorin?
Yes, that's thank you for a very, very important question. It is leading, but I'd like to be led this way. It's the right direction because it is systemic corruption led by political patronage. Mm-hmm. You cannot just blame the whole police department. This is systemic corruption encouraged by people at the top.
No, I take your point that what we are seeing is a broken down police system. The fact is, a week later, no one has been in a way charged as yet. FIRs have been filed. There have been no arrests made. All that has happened is that the police officers have got transferred. Do you believe that this is another case where police officers in Tamil Nadu believe they could get away with it? Is that what you are trying to suggest when you bring in in some way the political leadership into it? Are you telling me that police officers would resort to torture or custodial deaths because they believe they can get away with it in Tamil Nadu?
Absolutely, sir. They're emboldened by the political patronage that they have. So much so that they can look down upon a magistrate who's come to inquire and probe into a case which is being closely watched by the people.
You know, there will be those who will say, of course, that you're saying this because this is now going to become a major political issue. This will be used to put the Palaniswamy government in the dock. Tamil Nadu is going to the polls in less than a year. So do you really believe that any government that comes to power, Kamal Haasan, in this country will actually bring in police reforms?
They should. As a matter of fact, they just have to take the recommendation from the Supreme Court, which none of the successive governments have done it. So I'm not just putting our Honorable CM in the dock. He seems to be sitting there already with many cases which are now in the shelves of CBI. We don't want this happening this time. And we are looking for a systemic reform, not just, we're also looking for justice for individuals, but we are looking at systemic reforms, and that's what my party will fight for through by knocking at the doors of the courts.
You know, the government, the Tamil Nadu government, Kamal Haasan, has said, look, we have given the case to the CBI, we have transferred all the police officers, we are filing FIRs. What more do you want us to do is what they say. The government says we are conscious that this is a tragedy, we will provide justice to the families. What more can we do? What would you tell them?
Oh, they can quickly sort of arrest those who are responsible and act within the tenets of their office, which they are not. See, to send it to CBI to gather dust is shoulder shrugging. And any responsible leader, especially the chief minister, should not do it. And this is not about party politics. We are going beyond that. We are talking about systemic reforms. And it'll apply to any chief minister. In this case, this happens to be Mr. EPS.
You don't think you are saying that this case should be given to the CBI? Do you really believe that it can actually be prosecuted in Tamil Nadu itself, that the same police officers or the same police system will prosecute its own? Is that really going to happen?
Why do you? I think the people should be owned by the government than a department. And that's where we have gone wrong. The people have put them there, so their commitment is towards the people, not towards just an arm of their government. And that's what people are angry about. Even the lawyers today marched on the streets in COVID times.
What I want to try and understand is these protests that are taking place. You know, you're talking about street protests, lawyers are marching. Could this be Tamil Nadu's answer in a way to what we are seeing in the United States? Your George Floyd moment where we saw Black Lives Matter, is this the people of Tamil Nadu saying enough is enough? Do you believe that you can sustain a movement which will eventually lead to police reforms, which will lead to justice for these families?
It should be sustained because it's about people. It's about us. It's about you, sir, me, and the rest of India. And it's contagious. It's equally contagious as COVID, this apathy towards people. And we should not allow it.
But you know, there are questions whether it will lead to a larger movement. I know that we saw traces of it during Jallikattu in Tamil Nadu a few years ago, people coming out in thousands. Now in Corona times, of course, much more difficult for people to come, but it is an election year. Do you see this now becoming a major political issue? Will this be seen through the prism of politics, the custodial deaths?
Well, shame on the people if they don't move now. I'm trying to insinuate them into seeking justice because these are important moments. These are watershed moments in our history, in our political history. Political history does not just comprise of two parties tugging afar. No, this also involves people, and this should become a people's movement, and we are willing to join whatever position they give us in the agitation, because it must become a people's movement. It's equally or even more important than the Jallikattu protest. It is directly connected to human rights and the political atmosphere and how law should behave.
You know, the concern, of course, and this may be a cynical view, is that once the camera lights are switched off, people will move on to other issues. I know this is an election year, but will these become the election issues? Will something like custodial deaths or the overreach of the police force at times become election issues? Or will we once again go back to money, power, caste-based alliances as we have seen in the past in Tamil Nadu?
This is a great opportunity presented to the people of Tamil Nadu. Instead of sitting back, leaning on the armchairs and commenting that everything is corrupt, here's an opportunity to people to voice their will. And they should voice their will, and this is an opportunity. They will use it.
What is your role going to be, Kamal Haasan, in the next few months? Do you also plan to hit the streets, take up these issues, hold public protests over Tuticorin? Can we expect, are you going to make this your sort of rallying cry as a new political party?
See, street movements are one thing, but in COVID times, they know it. So they're smirking, thinking that people won't come out. And it's a sort of a strategic check and mate on the people who cannot gather. And so it's going to be, worst case analysis, it's going to be a soapbox oratory and then it'll die. But I don't think so. because we are not only thinking of just taking to the streets, but taking to the courts. We'll take it to the courts. And we still do believe in law of the land.
You know, you have mentioned also that you are now going to the courts. You're knocking the Madras High Court, possibly the Supreme Court. What are you looking for? Are you saying that you're looking for justice in this case, or do you believe the entire issue of police reform should now be placed before the courts?
We are very, very insistent that it should be a police reform, because there are all facilities that the Honorable Supreme Court has given us. The handle is neglected by successive government, both DMK and ADMK. And now is the time to use the opportunity given by the Supreme Court to implement a law which will stop these kind of custody deaths in future, at least. It is important that the two who died must get justice. They are my family. So I will seek for their justice as well. But on a larger perspective, I think we should look at reforms. Even the police, the honest ones, will all want that, because they can breathe a sigh of relief and be honest in their profession.
Okay. Kamal Haasan, actor turned politician, appreciate your joining us, taking that strong stand on what's happened in Tuticorin. You are saying that you will now go to the courts to seek police reforms, to ask for police reforms to be back on the legislative table. Thanks very much for joining me here.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.